You're probably having that issue where you're having a low energy or you have focus problem and you're wondering what you could do about it, and you're wondering if having low energy causes focus issues or vice versa and what to do about it. Well, we're going to talk about that right after this intro. How you doing, my optimal mind? Welcome back, and we're going to be talking about how you can really help improve your focus and energy, but more specifically, why is energy causing your focus problem and what you can actually specifically do about it. But before we get started, if you are looking for guidance as far as when it comes to helping improve your focus and energy, I have a full training in the description below helping you on that goes in depth about my proprietary process, helping my clients and patients, helping them with focus and energy issues. So if you are interested, like I said, it's in the description below. All right, so there's gonna be 3 areas that I'm gonna talk about how basically having low energy can affect your focus, and kind of vice versa, because they do really kind of play a role and tie together. But let's first talk about the first thing that I see a lot of why when you have fatigue or low energy, how it could be affecting to eventually to a point where your focus and your memory is starting deteriorating over time and your attention is starting deteriorating. And you might be not even having ADHD or any kind of capability or any issues in that aspect, but you're just finding it started to deteriorate as far as your memory and focus and attention. So the very first thing I would say is looking at your cortisol. So fatigue can be due to cortisol levels being low or very imbalanced, because our cortisol is something that our adrenals do produce. It's something that should be highest in the morning. It's what gets us up in the morning. So if you're not a morning person, chances are you do have low cortisol levels. And even during the day, it should stay pretty consistent. It does drop a little bit, and then at nighttime, it should go all the way down so your body's ready to actually go to sleep. So it's really important to kind of look at your cortisol levels to see if there is some imbalances going on there. So how does actually cortisol affect when it comes to focus? Well, like I said, cortisol is the hormone that the adrenals produce to help with energy, but it also helps stimulate and also helps with stressors. So it helps kind of reduce stress because it attaches to a lot of the different types of receptors in our body and throughout our brain to help with that. When it's reducing stress, it does give the pathway or the gateway to help with memory and retention. When you're not having a bunch of stress coming in and all that does affect a lot with our memory when we're having a lot of stressors coming in. But with cortisol, having good and balanced cortisol levels will help improve upon that, but also help with the focus as well as having a sharp mind because we have good balanced cortisol levels. Now, if your cortisol levels are up and down, your attention and focus are going to be all over the place. In fact, it'll start depleting if it's all over the place. Okay. The second area I want to talk about how fatigue or low energy can affect our focus problem and what to actually do about that is looking at brain fog. Now, brain fog, it's interesting because brain fog can have a different variety of symptoms. It doesn't always mean per se that you're having a focus problem. You just might have this hazing feeling effect. People call it kind of a gray cloud, and also it could contribute to some attention issues. And when we look at fatigue, like for example, somebody who has low thyroid issues tends to have brain fog a lot, but they don't connect that they're starting to have a deterioration in their attention and focus and how those can be too connected. This goes to hormones, specifically looking at hormones. Now we talked about cortisol, but I'm talking about some other hormones specifically here. And this is looking at your thyroid hormones as well as your reproductive hormones, so testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, those types of hormones that could be playing a role. And even insulin, another hormone, can be playing in the effect of causing more brain fog. And with that, causing more fatigue, or vice versa, fatigue then causing the issue of decreasing definitely a lot of our different hormone levels and imbalancing those. So if you are having brain fog and fatigue, those things can be contributing to decreasing your focus and also attention issues. And what you need to do that is obviously checking your hormone levels to see if there is some imbalances going on there. Not a lot of people do this, and it also can be an issue for even younger people. It doesn't always Need to look at people who are, in their 50s and 60s to look at your hormone levels. There's certainly definitely depletions that I see all the time in younger people that can have imbalances here. And by looking at that, then you know what to implement to help improve that, whether it's supplementation or whether it's a hormone replacement therapy or it's different diets and nutrients that you can help to improve upon that. And those are things that you need to be using to help eliminate or at least kind of decrease the symptoms of brain fog and fatigue, and therefore will help kind of reducing on the focus and attention issues. The third and final thing that I want to say about why per se fatigue causes our focus and attention issues is looking back at deficiencies, but more specifically nutritional deficiencies. So usually when people are dealing with fatigue, a lot of doctors will try to run several different labs to kind of rule out possibilities of why there's fatigue. Things such as iron deficiency, other nutritional deficiencies, whether it's B vitamins, even vitamin D is a very common one to look at if there is a causality of having low of vitamin D or other types of nutritional deficiencies causing that fatigue situation. And with that, because things like low iron and also vitamin D also can contribute to also having focus and attention issues. So they kind of target both. They target having issues with the fatigue and low energy, also causing focus and attention problems, because those specific nutrients do help enhance the process of actually having memory, retaining information, be able to have a sharp mind. You look at the neurotransmitters specifically. Each neurotransmitter, if you look at dopamine is what does help us to have better focus and attention. If we have lower dopamine levels, usually it has to be due to also nutritional deficiencies that help build those types of neurotransmitters. So this is why, again, when you're seeing a pathway, both low energy and also attention and focus issues, you have to look at low energy or fatigue and attention really almost have very similar symptoms. I mean, not similar symptoms, but they have very similar causalities or similar root causes of why that's happening. They usually have the same kind of connections. Not always the case, but a lot of times we see that, and I see that a lot. And when it comes to looking at those things, you really need to start identifying what is the imbalances in your biochemistry. Why is it causing that? And this is what you need to be doing, is checking these types of nutritional deficiencies. But if you're looking for more of a roadmap and guidance of how to improve your energy and your focus and attention, I have a free training in the description below that gives basically my proprietary process of what I use with my patients and clients to help them get better focus and attention so they can improve at work, at life. If you're on your own business, to be able to have better productivity and more income for your business, and also just overall, because if you understand that focus and attention problems do cause a decrease in your productivity, that affects ultimately your income, ultimately also just being present at home and having a better life and a healthier life. So until next time, this is Dr. LeGrand signing out, and remember, you have an optimal mind. Thanks.